Yo, I want to make a quick video about this. Um, so there's this guy. I see this type of content come across my feed pretty often lately. Not pretty often, but more than I would like, unfortunately. Um, the title of the video is How to Design Clothing Using ChatGPT, and I want to go over with you guys a few things in the comment section because I did comment. This is something that I have an opinion about. I don't know if I really feel any way about it necessarily, but I have an opinion, all right? So let's get into it. Let's go to the other screen. So this was the comment that um, kind of stood out to me the most. This one right here. And I did look at his channel. He drops some things here and there. He has a merch line. He does come up with some cool shit. He's a nice, respectable young man. You know, and hey, more power to you. Um, but this is the highest viewed video on his channel. One of them, at least. I didn't go all the way, but I scrolling through, I see this one has the most views. And I'm sure that this is, pretty interesting to people, you know, especially with the rise of AI and Chat GPT. So Des White, he says, this is incredibly sad, terrible for the fashion community and the clothing brand community. Just saying, be creative and design by yourself or don't start a brand, SMH. I think he was a little harsh here, which is understandable because a lot of people feel strongly about it, right? I did also express my, you know, negative emotion about this video because I watched it, the entire thing. Here's me, little self-report, my personal page where I do nothing but watch videos. My other two channels, I do post videos, but I say it is very sad. I'm also sad that this video popped up in my feed. No disrespect. I'm just sad that this is what YouTube decides to feed to me. None of the guys like him do it out of love. I wonder if they are truly creative at all. And I know it just this sounds like hating, maybe I am hating a little bit, but I'm not though. I really wonder like, do they love what they're doing or is it for the money? And often it is for the money, unfortunately. And then Des responds to me. He says, "Yeah, I think they just see it as an easy way to make money. Me too. When in reality, it's not. It's harder for me to make sales just because my brand makes clothes that are more like niche and creative. I understand that. It's hard for me too, bro. I make stuff too. This hat, you know what I mean? 8 in the back, no luck, you know what I mean? On a blank, you know the deal. Like we can't all produce the entire design, but this was drawn by me. I drew this. And same thing with the new luck. And I said new luck, no luck. I drew it, like, and then I have them produced. So I understand there is some aspect of the work that has to be done outside of us. We can't do everything from the outset. These print on demand distributors and things, they make it easier for us to even, put our designs on things that people can buy. Um, the creator Tristan, he says, I understand where you're coming from, and I would agree. This video is meant to encourage people to utilize AI in the designing process, not really replace it. I understand. I understand because like AI is here. We have to accept it. I made a video about this a few months ago. Like AI ain't going nowhere. Once something is cemented and it's here, you have to accept the fact that it's here. And I do. AI is going to be here. It's here to stay. I understand that. Fair point, Tristan. Um, Me responding to Des, I say it's something we have to just accept, unfortunately. Like I just said, when I make merch, I actually make it, which I do. I don't make it, but I do make it. So, um, these type of creators do make it hard for us, but it is what it is, right? Like I don't, it is what it is. They make it hard for us, but there's enough, people looking at things for all of us, but it does it does kind of suck when you know that like you could essentially be overlooked after putting all this hard work in for a brand that like didn't put in that same amount of work. And they do work. I'm not going to sit here and say they're just, it's just easy or anything, but it is much easier and there's nothing wrong with that. But um genuine creatives struggle in the world because there's so many of us. And now we're also competing with machines. And that's unfortunate because no human, no artist who's truly pouring themselves into their work can compete with the speed of a machine. We just can't. We just can't. You have to live some life to create, and machines create without living life. Um, Brian says, not everyone has the ability to be creative enough to draw their own designs, but they can use Chat GPT to find inspiration and get a point across. I personally lack the creativity and time, but I do have a dream to start a brand. I don't mind working with other creatives, so AI will help generate a reference to get my point across. Fair point. Um, I know a lot of people who can't draw, but they have ideas. Um, and I think it's cool for those people to be able to get those ideas out in some form, right? I always express that creation, creating something is a good outlet. A lot of people don't have hobbies. A lot of people wish they could create. A lot of people don't have the time to learn how to draw or to create these things. So I understand that point. But one thing he's missing is the fact that creation has always been human. Um, Designing is human as well, and designing does take some aspect of automation to come to fruition, right? Like I, you know, don't make the hat from scratch, so I understand, right? Like even I'm using something that's making it easier for me to get the finished product. So respectable. I did respond to him, and I'll get down to my responses down below because, of course, YouTube doesn't show them right underneath. Des says to the guy Brian, this guy here who's, you know, just said that. He said, dude, you are the problem. If you're not creative enough, don't start a brand. This is not a cash grab, bro. You got to do work and you got to love it to be successful. Please, for the love of God, for the love of God, don't start a brand. He is over it. And I understand, bro. Trust me, I feel your pain. Like, it's not a cash grab, but it is, though, for these guys, for some of them. I'm not saying Tristan is like that. Maybe he is. I don't know the young man, but I'm so torn on this shit because like, yeah, it sucks because any people look at anything that takes a lot of time and they feel like, yeah, I ain't doing that, or this is going to take forever. Damn, like it's going to take forever for me to learn how to for me to produce what I'm picturing in here. And they feel like AI is helping with that. For him to say if you're not creative, don't start a brand, I don't know if I agree with that. Like I feel like people should do whatever they want to do. There ain't no rules to this shit. So like if you make something and you use AI and people like it, go ahead and sell that. It is what it is. But we all know AI is unethical. Essentially, it's scraping the internet for art. Could be using Dez's art. Dez's art could be scraped and be used, in these generations that AI is giving you. My art could be scraped and used for these generations. So it's like, you know, that's the thing that kind of like makes this shit suck. Like the stain of AI will forever be there. Like we're always going to know that from the outset it was stealing from the creatives, and that's how it became what it is, right? So even later on down the line, if they say, "Oh no, no, now this is 100% randomly generated and blah blah blah," any artist or anybody who knew the history, we're always going to be skeptical. Like, yo, whose art did you scrape for this? You know. That's one thing some of these people don't really get. Um, then he's kind of this guy, Tennessee, ten, 10, I don't know, tense, test, Nitty. What would you call him, Nitty? Nitty says, keep making your money, young man. Yeah, keep making your money, young man, because that's all we all want to do. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you love it or not, I would love to make a killing on merch, you know. So yeah, man, keep making your money. Like, you crack the code, get to it. Kel said, this is what's wrong with the world. Times change, yet too many cling to old codes. Designers get defensive when others embrace tools of today. AI brings ideas to life. The truth is, you don't need to be a technical expert in everything. If you have a vision and can translate it into a simple product, you can create. That's the power of execution. If anything, it should enhance those with more experience in that particular field. Those who resist evolving only hold themselves back. Never fault anyone else for being inspired, curious, and disciplined, because what AI can achieve in seconds once took hours. Adapt or get left behind. So, this comment I did respond to. I agree. You don't need to be a technical expert in everything. If you have vision and can translate it into a simple prompt, you can create. I think, yes, you're right. That is technically how AI works. That's technically how it works. Um, but the things about this is what's wrong with the world, times change, too many cling to old codes. No. AI steals from artists in its current state. That's what's going on. So you would rather you would love to just steal from me instead of learning how to create yourself. Yes, AI can achieve in seconds what once took hours. But most of your statement here shows me that you're no artist. Those who resist evolving only hold themselves back. No, not true in this specific instance, because those who decide not to utilize AI are continuing to build their skill. Um, there's always going to be room and always going to be a want for someone who does not use AI. AI is more useful to businesses. Then they don't have to pay designers for things that they once did, logos, flyers. Anyone can make a flyer now. Anyone can make a logo now. Anyone can make a thumbnail now. Anyone can make wallpaper now or whatever. But this is very, I'm mixed on this. I'm borderline leaning towards, bro, you're wrong, because I'm not faulting anyone for being inspired, curious, and disciplined. Like, what's disciplined about AI? What's disciplined about using AI? There's no discipline there. You know how to type. You know how to read and write. Cool. That's your discipline. Yeah. So responding to Kels, who was the guy who just said that, I say, this is true, but the inverse is as well. Those who create through artificial means are removing something important from art. A cool design is a cool design, AI or not, but it is saddening to those who actually possess skill. And I'm sad about it. I am. I accept it, but I am sad about it because I could utilize AI. I tried it in the beginning, typed in a couple prompts, see what I could come up with, blah blah blah, see what it spits out, but it's not real. It's not real. It's not human. It's missing the life. It's missing the experience. It's missing the technique, right? AI can never, well, it will, I'm sure, get to a point where it's able to replicate us very well. And at this point, it's even surpassed some of the things that we can do. Um, but part of art is living. And for him to have that opinion, he ain't no artist, man. He ain't no artist. And I understand like clothing is not always looked at as art, but it is. Fashion is art. And a lot of these people are creating designs. They're not just putting out a t-shirt. They're trying to make fashion. They're making something people want to wear. And it just sucks that, the human mind, the human connection has been severed when it comes to AI. My last response to Brian. Brian was the guy who said he wants to have a brand, but he's not creative himself. To Brian, I say, I understand this 100%. The ability to create a brand shouldn't necessarily be gate kept behind being able to create yourself. It's just unfortunate to see another art form be infiltrated by machines when one of the things that made art is being human. And I stand on it. I stand on that. I've been making shit since I was a kid. Self-taught. I did go to school for it at one point. I learned more. There was discipline, principles, principles of design, color theory, a lot of things that I learned about, a lot of things that I learned naturally, just experimenting. And you guys are just experimenting by typing in some shit. You know, it's not the same. Someone says it's a time saver for sure, not a design tool. I use it for inspiration sometimes, but mainly back end things like content ideas, drop rollouts. It's useful if used in the right ways. Keep grinding. Salute. Great ideas, bro. God bless your work. Yeah, God bless your work, man. But not the art. You gotta also type the font you want, and you gotta be real specific with the details. Yeah. Big, bold letters cascading down the waterfall. All black with the silver gradient. Yeah. Yeah, we get it. You gotta be specific. Sit down and type for like what, 20 minutes tops, if that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Where and what do you use to print these up? He on it. ASAP. Crack the code. Thank you. Appreciate you. Somebody else who storing that in the memory banks and they about to go get to it on AI. That's why I don't like this. My tabs, nothing crazy. um, this helped. Another one. As a manufacturer, it's always love to turn clothing designs into real products. But they're saying clothing design, so they're just like, yeah, we're here. Use us for your AI shit. As they should, their business. Cool. All right. If you know type shit, type shit, type shit. Laughing. Yeah. What's the size of the graphics Chat GPT makes? Are they little JPEGs or are they full scale 15 by 20 JPEGs? I see what he said. You can tell it to generate whatever. Another one, he wants some like, yeah, man, I'm in here with it. Design clothes using Chat GPT. Yeah, I don't think you guys like fashion for real. Just a hustle. Facts. I'm sorry, I just said that. I'm so sorry I said that. I kind of agree. Laughing emojis for real. I love fashion as a youngin. I see Chat GPT. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, me too, bro. I've always loved fashion. I've always wanted to design shit. And I design shit. I really design shit. Um, No creativity, man. Y'all not really into fashion, just chasing the hustle. I mean, I'm just glad that everybody not on here like, yeah, 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 this is the wave. Cause like, bro, they removing something like that shouldn't be removed from art. As somebody who been doing this for longer than some of them have been alive, it's hard, man. It's hard for somebody who's genuinely creative to get their shit off the ground, no matter how hard you grind it. You know what I mean? You just gotta, there's luck involved in this shit too. And when there's luck involved in this shit too, like knowing that people out here using machines to make what they pushing, like that shit is sad. It really is. Cause I'm like, damn, man. What about the real artists? What about the people who've been doing this shit? Y'all don't need to care about us. I understand. I care about us. Hopefully we make it too. Racing against the machines.